Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The heat is coming. We can feel it. Thanks for joining us on the show today. Hey, if you want to get behind the paywall on BamaInsider.com, the promo code is simply Roll Tide. If you're a college student out there and you're having a tough time making it month to month, hit me up at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. I have a special college promo code for you. Today on the show, we're going to talk and discuss Alabama's new 5-star to the basketball roster, Javon Quinerly. That was some big news that broke Sunday evening. We're also going to talk about Alabama's kicking and punting game. Are we going to see any improvement for the 2019 season? And then lastly, to close out the show, we're going to be talking about alcohol in the SEC. What's your take on letting the booze flow at football games? Hey, let me know where you're coming from in the comment box. I want to hear where you guys are at. You guys in Cali, you guys in Alabama, you guys in Florida, you guys somewhere else, you guys overseas. Hey, so let's get it going. And let's start off by discussing Alabama's new basketball addition, Javon Quinerly, who committed to the Crimson Tide on Sunday evening. All right, here's an excerpt from the article that we have on BamaInsider.com running today, right now on the front page. Coach Nate Oats has landed his first 5-star player. Javon Quinerly has decided to transfer to the University of Alabama, where he will sit out this upcoming season, but have 3 years of eligibility remaining. Quinerly is a 5-star and ranked number 31 prospect in the 2018 cycle before he signed with Villanova. He decided to transfer after this past season, and Alabama head basketball coach Nate Oats was first to contact him after he announced his intent to transfer. Javon is a dynamic guard that plays best on the open floor. He's a perfect fit for the way we play, Oates said. He's a playmaker that makes plays both for himself and for his teammates. He makes everyone around him better. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know him and his family throughout the recruiting process. He comes from a great, close-knit family, and this is the type of high-character individual we are looking to bring to our program here. And that was a quote from Nate Oats. So, I mean, when you look at the Alabama basketball roster, I mean, you got to like what they're putting out on the floor. And before we get to kind of how the roster could shake out, it's been reported that Quinerly is going to put in for a waiver to try to play this season. I mean, could you imagine the guard play of Alabama? You got Kyra Lewis, Javon Quinerly, James Beetle Bolden, right? John Petty out on the wing. I mean, that would be a nice setup for the Crimson Tide. Remember, we talked about it last week. Coach Nate Oats wants to be super athletic. He wants to run the floor. At Buffalo last year, I believe the Bulls averaged, 84 points per game? So getting another great addition to the guard lineup is a huge success for the Crimson Tide. And as I mentioned, I mean, you have Kyra Lewis coming back, John Petty, Herbert Jones, Alex Reese, Galen Smith, Javion Fleming, who's down from 280 to 253, so he's going to be more mobile, right? The departures from Alabama basketball, Tevin Mack entered the NCAA transfer portal. Deontay Wood transferred to Jacksonville University. The incoming freshmen, you have some big-time players coming in as well that are going to fit great into Oates' system. Juwan Gary, Jalen Forbes, Jaden Shackelford, Raymond Hawkins. I like Hawkins, a big kid, 6'9", 220. Not too much weight, so I think, what Oates wants to do is certainly run the floor. You also have new JC arrival, James Rojas. So depending on if Quinerly can get that waiver approved, that's going to be huge for the Crimson Tide and for Nate Oats. What do you think about the Alabama basketball team and their roster, how it's shaking out? Let me know in the comment box. Also on BamaInsider.com, we're starting to close out our 19 for 19. The 19 for 19 was asking 19 hard-hitting questions during the 2019 season. It's been fun to discuss a lot of these topics, and we're about to end this week, so go to BamaInsider.com. You can read any of those articles. And today, our team writer, Tony Sukalis, put this together. Will Alabama's kicking and punting improve for the 2019 season? Now, let's face it. Alabama's kicking and punting game last year was abysmal, right? I mean, everything else seemed to be lining up for the Crimson Tide, but then each time Alabama marched out into the field to kick a PAT, everyone would get nervous. I mean, it's just a PAT, but that's how bad things were, all right? So check this out. Here's An excerpt from Tuscaloosa's article on BamaInsider.com. Last season, Alabama missed an SEC worst 9 extra points, several clanging loudly off the uprights. To put things into perspective, the 9 failed tries were more than the Crimson Tide had missed in the previous 7 years combined. The doinked extra points received most of the attention, but in reality, the punting was much worse. Alabama ranked number 128 out of 130 NCAA teams as Skylar DeLong and Mike Bernier combined to average just 35.6 yards per attempt. As discouraging as those statistics appear, this spring brought a bit of optimism. Alabama welcomed highly rated freshman Will Reichard, who was accurate on all 4 of his extra points and also boomed a 43-yard field goal through the uprights during A-Day. Reichard, a Hoover, Alabama native, was 27 of 31 on field goals and made all of his 109 extra points during his high school career. I think the guy's really talented, Saban said on early signing day in December of 2018. I mean, he's a really good person, hard worker, really good specialist in all regards. He can punt. He's a really good kicker. So I think when you look at Alabama's kicking game, right, I mean, Will Reichard looks like he's going to come in and be the savior, kicking field goals and extra points. He could kick punts, but I think Skylar DeLong showed a lot of improvement as well. I think he obviously struggled last year, but he's made year-over-year strides, and I think you're going to see that instantly. So my prediction is Will Reichard kicking field goals, punts, maybe Joseph Bolivas still kicking off for Alabama, and then I think you're going to have Skylar DeLong win that punting job. However, it'll be a short leash because you do have Will Reichard right there who could also be a punter. So I think the special teams, especially when you look at the kicking and punting, is going to be improved for the 2019 season. All right, moving on in the show. As I said earlier, the SEC is going to let the alcohol flow. And what that means is it's now up to each individual school on how they want to address alcohol at their sporting events. All right, this is from Pat Forty of Yahoo Sports. There's a decree in the Southeastern Conference. The league's presidents voted Friday to lift the alcohol ban in their stadiums with restrictions, passing the decision to the 14 individual schools to set their own alcohol policies. Some, like LSU, are fully on board and ready to get it going. Others, like Missouri, say they're going to study the issue more before committing. Still others, like Georgia, have plans for limited alcohol sales to certain ticket holders. And did you read that? Georgia's saying if you've paid over $25,000, you can boost, right? 25 grand. For the Alabama Crimson Tide, it doesn't seem like much will change. This was a statement a UA spokesman put out. The new policy allows each campus to decide what's right for them. The guidelines will be helpful as we move forward and have future conversations. We have one of the best game day atmospheres in the country, and we don't envision making changes at this time. What do you think in the comment box? Should alcohol be sold at Bryant Denny during Alabama football games? I'd really be curious to hear your opinion. Should alcohol be served during Alabama basketball games or softball? What do you think? Let me know in the comment box. Here are the restrictions that are set in place per the schools that decide to have alcohol served during their sporting events. There will be no roving vendors selling alcohol. IDs are required at every point of sale. Beverage sales are limited to beer and wine in public seating areas. There will be limits on the number of drinks that can be purchased by a user at one time. There will be designated stop times for sales at the end of the third quarter in football and women's basketball, the under 12-minute timeout of the second half of men's basketball, the end of the top of the seventh inning for baseball, and the fifth inning in softball, and no later than when 75% of an event's completion in other sports. We are proud of the great game day atmosphere that SEC and our member schools have cultivated throughout our history, and no other conference rivals the SEC in terms of our ability to offer an intense yet family-friendly atmosphere for all of our fans, said South Carolina President Harris Pastides, current chair of the league's presidents and chancellors. The policy is intended to enhance the game day experience at the SEC athletic events. Here's a statement from SEC League Commissioner Greg Sankey. There's great care. When you lead the nation in attendance, you cherish that position and you proceed cautiously. We are a conference walking away from decades of prohibiting this activity, and we want to proceed cautiously. What do you think, again, in the comment box? Should alcohol be sold at college sporting events in the SEC? How would you like to see it handled? Are you completely against it? Let me know in the comment box. Be curious to get your take on the BamaInsider.com comment box down below or on BamaInsider.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. 3 quick points. I'm going to try to wrap with Jordan Harper on BamaInsider.com here shortly to kind of get an overview of this basketball team. So stay tuned for that on BamaInsider.com. I also plan to bring Andrew Bone, our recruiting analyst, in to talk about June and kind of the state of the union regarding recruiting, because I think this month of June is all about recruiting. And if you've been paying attention to Alabama's commitment list, it's packed with big time players already. 17 total commits. What do the numbers look like? How many more commits can Alabama take from the class of 2020? Currently, Alabama is in 3rd place on the Rivals.com recruiting rankings, trailing Clemson and LSU. Clemson already has 5 5-star committed players. LSU has 3. Alabama has just 1. Miami and Georgia round out the top 5. Georgia has 1 5-star as well. So we will bring on Andrew Bone to catch you guys up on recruiting, or maybe we'll just have him do his own show. I mean, he really likes to come to the YouTube community as well. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will catch up with you guys next time. Hats off to the women's softball team. And that was a great season. There's no way the softball team should have been seeded 8th in that softball tournament. But I guess that's another topic for another time. As I always say at the end of the show, be good people out there. And special thanks to our men and women overseas defending this great country. And I will catch up with you soon. Reporting from the beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Hope to see you soon and have an opportunity for your business at BamaInsider.com.